Chapter 64. Cutting one's own throat in the Wujia River. Boom, boom, boomed boom. The army set off and began to walk in formation, slowly moving from behind Gu Chen towards the front. Thousands of troops stepped out. A neat procession, the sound of voices treading on the ground, like the sound of war drums rushing to the sky. A loud, cool sound rushed out, bringing with it boundless, majestic military might and newfound chi, charging straight at the skeleton army. Kill, kill, kill. This shout alone shook the frontmost skeleton soldier's body shape, and the smoke wanted to disperse. As the army stepped on the ground, it brought a roar from the entire land. The foremost group and the skeleton army began to make contact. Roar, roar. Amidst the roar of hundreds of skeleton soldiers, a blade chopped towards the Gu Chen army. The Gu Chen army was in green-colored armor and was happily unafraid of the white skeleton army. Kill. The cyan-colored army let out a loud shout. Boom. The generals in the front row instantly rushed out a lance, very neatly roaring and sticking it at the crowd of skeleton army. Roar. The skeleton soldiers were instantly hit by the lances, but there were still some who endured their poked chests and continued to chop with their swords. Kill. The second row of cyan-colored army suddenly exerted force, stabbing out a second set of lances from between the gaps in the first row, instantly piercing through the heads of a bunch of skeleton soldiers. Boom. The skeletal soldiers instantly burst into pieces. Amazing, Mu Chunfeng stared in wide-eyed surprise. Thousands of armies, no, millions of green-armored armies, began to rush in all directions, rushing towards the crowd of skeleton armies. Kill. Kill them. Walking team. A walking team killed so many skeletons. How powerful should it be next? Ha ha ha. Fight me. Little ones. Kill them. Gu Chen roared excitedly. On the side, Gu Hai and Long Wanqing both relaxed. Looking at Gu Chen's smug look, the two of them were speechless for a while. If others saw that look, they would think that the 10 ambushes was created by you. Boom, boom, boom. The green armor army, after lining up troops, dispersed and spread out like a plate of scattered sand. But if one looks carefully, one will find that the green armor army lined up an extremely vast army formation in general. The trend of the expansion of a large net, the net to the four sides, will be one after another skeleton army net into the net. Was a large encirclement of the trend, will be a plate of scattered skeleton army surrounded. The large net covered a large area. 1/5 of the Love Flower Valley was covered by the large net. The skeleton army was driven away, and gradually, nearly 100,000 skeleton armies were caught in the net. Outside, Broken Army steeply raised an eyebrow. Oh no, we've been ambushed. On the side, King Liu Yong, however, his eyes lit up. Good ambush, good repertoire, good army. Boom, boom, boom. The green armored army suddenly turned their spearheads, charging towards the central skeleton army. 100,000 skeleton army, like scurrying rats, fleeing in all directions, but up and down, left and right, all directions. There are green armored army's lances, the lance team, constantly stabbing, scurrying rats crashing, booming and stabbing. Kill, 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 kill. Under the layers of stabbing of the army, 10-sided ambush. Nowhere to escape. All of a sudden, all crashed on top of the gun. Roar, kill, kill. Ambush from 10 sides. The army was strangled, and soon, the 100,000 skeleton army was strangled to death. That direction, the entire army was wiped out. What track is this? Broken Army's eyes glared. Ha 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 ha, Broken Army. Continue or. Is this all you have? This is Lao Tzu's ambush on 10 fronts. You're breaking the east wind. It's not that good are. Ha 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 ha. Gu Chen's triumphant voice rang out in the large formation. Both Gu Chen and Broken Army had amazing ear power, so naturally they could hear each other's voices. Ambush from 10 sides. HMPH. Broken Army let out a cold snort. Ambush from 10 sides. On the side, King Liu Yong, however, showed appreciation in his eyes. The zither track countless, but the battlefield killing track is not much. Broken East Wind is also counted as their own favorite work. But do not want to. Now out of ambush on all sides, is not weak Broken East Wind, jealousy. King Liu Yong naturally will not be jealous, to become a great man, not small details. Moreover, if the composer can be used for himself, wouldn't that be an added strength? Gu Hai, King Liu Yang's eyes narrowed slightly. Not long ago, the Liangzhu made King Liu Yong pay attention to Gu Hai, but then Gu Hai's power to suppress the dragons by setting up a formation made King Liu Yong look forward to Gu Hai's talent. The Song ambush on 10 phases made King Liu Yong look forward to Gu Hai even more. 1,000 gold is easy to get, but a general it's hard to find. A wave of pride flashed in King Liu Yang's eyes. The broken army coldly looked in the direction of the Guchen army. HMPH. This is just the beginning. Breaking the east wind, the skeleton army is indeed scattered. But it's because no skeleton king has appeared. Keep listening. Let's see if you can still ambush the skeleton king. The broken army let out a cold snort. Ding ding ding. With a fierce flick in his hand, a thick zither sound rushed straight out. Boom. The zither sound instantly rushed into the large formation. Roar. In the middle of the zither sound, a loud roar coalesced to create a giant skeleton man that surpassed the size of the other skeleton generals by 10 times. The Skeleton King. The Skeleton King was clad in a huge red cloak, and with a loud roar, the wind and clouds changed color. Roar. As the Skeleton King let out a loud roar, the countless skeleton army was suddenly stunned, followed by a surge in power of more than double, slowly, as if it had found an organization. With the Skeleton King as the center, attacking the 4 directions of the tree people and impacting the green armored army. Dang 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 dang. The 2 soldiers again fighting, roaring, issued a burst of gold and stone sound, a time, suddenly indistinguishable from each other in general. Outside the formation, broken army revealed a cold smile. Skeleton King out. Not only morale, strength, skeleton army military might also soared, and the green armor army no longer show the wind. Inside the formation, Gu Chen's face sank, a trace of annoyance flashed in his eyes. Master, the other party has become stronger, Gu Chen said with some worry. Gu Hai's face sank as he said, "What are you worried about? Keep playing. This piece is divided into many parts, going through lining up the camp, blowing and beating, naming the general, lining up the formation, the ambush, the little battle at Juming Mountain, and the great battle at Juli Mountain. Later will be the great battle of 9 Mile Mountain. And that's when the big kill will come. Go on." "Yes," Gu Chen answered. The 10-sided ambush continued, and sure enough, with the short fight, not divided into equal parts, the green armored army was taking this opportunity to slowly spread the formation, forming an even more massive military formation. This time, the army formation was not just 1/5 of the Love Flower Valley, but wrapped around the entire Love Flower Valley. Outside, broken army's face changed. Not good. This time it's a giant military formation ambush. A 10-sided ambush. Kill, kill, kill. As soon as the military formation was completed, the green armored army hissed in full force, entering the grand battle, the 9 Mile Mountain battle. Rumble. The massive army formation, strangling towards the inner layers, was like a tiger descending from the mountain, sprinting like a bamboo. Full sprint, the skeleton army. Even if there was a skeleton king leading the army, it was useless, for a time. The entire Love Flower Valley resounded with countless sounds of fighting, hosneighing, the sound of swords and spears hitting each other, shouts, rising and falling, shocking and inexplicable. That burst of shouts, listening to the millions of Liu Yong King's army in the outside world, were all horrified. Kill, 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 kill. As if it was a meat grinder, one by one, The skeleton soldiers were quickly annihilated, strangling towards the skeleton king in the center. Impossible. Ambushes in all directions. Ambushes everywhere. The skeleton king led his troops to break out. But there's actually no way out. The sky and the ground are full of ambushes. Broken Army said with an ugly face. 10-sided ambush. What a 10-sided ambush. King Lu Yong also stood up. He listened to the stirring zither sound. King Lu Yong was also a zither expert. Naturally, he could hear the rushing scene of thousands of troops in the sound of the zither. It was an exciting scene. Unfortunately, it was the other side that was exciting. However, King Lu Yong, because he appreciated this song and jumped out of his subjective attitude, naturally felt the strength of this song. Millions of green armored army quickly strangled the skeleton army. The soldiers were defeated. The skeleton army, under this 10-sided ambush, there was nowhere to escape. There was simply no way to escape, and they were quickly decimated. The 10-sided ambush formation shrunk towards the center, towards the skeleton king. The skeleton king led the army to break out. Several times unsuccessfully, the army lost its heart, and the whole game was lost. Master, what a powerful army formation. Where is this to? Gu Chen said excitedly. This section. It's called Lord Zhong's defeat formation, Gu Hai said in slight silence. Ambush on 10 sides. This goes to be an ancient piece of music from the earth in the past. A piece that focuses on describing Marquis of Huaiyan, Han Xin, who led his army to set up an ambush on 10 sides, defeating Xiongyu and forcing Xiongyu to die in the Wujiang River. At this moment, the piece has reached the stage of Xiongyu's defeat, and then there is the last section, Wujiang's suicide. The music of the zither continued, the green armored army, wiping out the skeleton army nearly completely. Slowly, the skeleton king was forced in the center. There is no way out. At this moment, the sound of the zither is even more slowly on the broken army of the zither sound to produce the encircling trend. Broken army a zither sound played. Always feel that there are 10 channels of 100 channels of the Gu Chen zither sound will be wrapped up. The broken army zither sound into a desperate situation. The skeleton king also into a desperate situation. A kind of desperate forced into the heart. Gu Chen zither sound playing faster and faster, more and more closely. At the moment in all directions, a Gu Chen zither sound will break the military zither sound completely drowned out. The skeleton king also forced into a desperate situation, forced into the edge of the collapse. While Gu Chen's face was hideous, that skeleton king was crumbling. He slowly picked up his long sword and put it between his neck and neck. No, it can't be. There's no way you can force my skeleton king to cut his own throat. Broken army shouted with glaring fury. At this moment, King Lu Yong was also attracted by the tight zither sound. Before, how could King Lu Yong possibly think that this song ambush on 10 faces to this moment was actually so? Furious, forcing the enemy commander to cut his own throat. Even though the broken army was playing with all his might, however, the skeleton king was gradually getting out of control, and the long sword in his hand slashed violently. Boom! Under the mournful melody, the skeleton king cut his own throat and fell. The sound of the zither also entered its final stage, cutting one's own throat in the Wujiang River. Buzz! At the most intense moment, the sound of the 10 faces ambush zither violently closed and came to an abrupt end. Everything ended. The skeleton army, all of them, were wiped out. Boom! The void zither played by the broken army, but the strings of the zither collapsed abruptly in general, causing the broken army to reveal a wave of horror. Ambush on 10 sides, good track. King Lu Yang's eyes glared, and he also said with a surging mood. At this moment, the millions of troops in the outside world were immersed in the general duel of the zither Dao, just now, and the sense of urgency of the sound of the zither made all the generals unable to calm down for a long time. Rumble. A roaring sound came from within the grand formation. However, at the largest love flower tree, a huge root wrapped around the ground that Wang Fu Chaoji had drilled into and sent Wang Fu Chaoji away. Unfortunately, at this moment, Broken Army was still immersed in the defeat of the Zither fight just now and did not pay attention to the changes there. Use gold to overcome wood, Zheng Jinqi, chop. A steep roar boomed out. Boom. Steeply, a golden sword chi rushed into the ground with a roar, and in an instant, it chopped the root that had rushed into the ground in half. Chu Chen, the love flower grandmother's furious roar rang out. Your Highness, quick, Wang Fu Chaoji is escaping. A loud shout rang out from Chu Chen. It instantly broke everyone's heart that was immersed in the sound of the zither.